धर्म को गहराई से समझने की
Till
चेष्टा
now, we have tried to understand Dharma in depth,
की और उसमें
and in that, we have also made
मनुष्य जन्म के इस सुंदर अवसर का
some disciplines to make the
सर्वोत्तम
best
उपयोग
use
कर
of
सके,
this beautiful opportunity of a human birth.
उसके लिए कुछ अनुशासन भी देखे.
And for that, we saw some disciplines also.
ये भी देखा कि फाइनली इस शरीर के रहते हम जो भी किरदार निभाएंगे,
As soon as this body
जैसे ही
drops,
ये शरीर
all
छूटेगा,
the roles
सब के
connected
सब
with it
किरदार एक
will
साथ
become
में
null
खत्म हो
and
जाएंगे.
void. We saw this also.
उसके बाद बचेगा क्या?
What will remain with
तो
us
इस
after that is the inner
मनुष्य
world
जन्म
of
में
mind, intellect, memory and ego,
अलग-अलग
which has
अनुभवों के
evolved through
द्वारा
different experiences in this human
हमारे
life.
अंदर की दुनिया जैसी
This
बनी,
is what will remain with
मन
us.
बुद्धि चित्त अहंकार जिस तरह से परिपक्व हुए वही साथ में जाने वाला है.
This is what will go along with us.
तब जाके
That is when
ये
the
भी एक
possibility
उत्कट
of an intense
निश्चय बनने
commitment
की
also
संभावना
rises
रही कि इस मनुष्य जन्म
that
को
this human life should not be
इस
spent
व्यवहार व्यवसाय
only
के
doing
खेल में
worldly
कहीं
activities of
हम
jobs,
व्यर्थ ना गवाएं.
businesses and social or family affairs.
और उसके लिए
And for that,
धर्म को समझना,
we saw why
और
it is
अनुशासनों का
important to
पालन
understand
करना
Dharma
ये
and
और
why it is
ज़्यादा
important to follow the disciplines.
जरूरी लगने लगा. एक सिनॉप्सिस अगर कहा जाए
To
तो मैं कहता
synopsize,
हूं, हर जीव
living
की
a life to fully
अंदर की
blossom
सुंदर
the beautiful inner
ताकतों को
abilities
fully blossom
is what
करते हुए
Dharma
जीवन
is.
जीना, ये धर्म है. और उसके
And
अंदर
Dharma
बाधा बनने
also
वाली हर
includes dropping
क्लिष्ट वृत्ति
and
को,
becoming free
नकारात्मक ताकत
from
को,
every harmful
हर
tendency,
हानिकारक
negative
आदत
flavor
को
and
त्यागते
harmful
जाना भी
habit.
धर्म ही है. अपने
Someone
द्वारा
else's
किसी का
upliftment
कल्याण
through
भी
you
धर्म
is
है,
also Dharma,
और उनके
and your
कल्याण से
upliftment
जगे हुए
resulting
पुण्य
from
से
the merit
हमारा कल्याण
awakened by
वो भी
their
धर्म ही है.
upliftment is also Dharma.
और उसके लिए
And now for
Today,
that,
we start with a
सात
deeper
अनुशासन
we
understanding
saw
of life.
7 disciplines yesterday.
Let's invoke
पहला
love and
अनुशासन.
enthusiasm
First,
and put on the student
हम
cap.
अलग-अलग किरदार निभाते
while
ही
playing different roles in
अपना
our life,
जीवन के
we
विद्यार्थी
will
का
not
किरदार
leave
छोड़ना दे मन
the
से,
role of being a student in our
उसको
life.
बनाए रखें. और उसके लिए
And for
श्रवण
that,
मनन
Shravan
निधिध्यास का
Manan
फॉर्मूला है.
Nididhyas is the formula.
उसको और गहराई से समझा जाए तो मैं कहता हूँ
If we have to
रोटी में
understand this a
जितना
little
नमक हो,
more,
उतनी
Shravan
मात्रा
has
में
to be
श्रवण हो.
like a pinch of salt
रोटी
in
में
the
जितना आटा हो उतनी मात्रा में उसके ऊपर मनन हो, तब जाके खाने लायक रोटी बनती है. सिर्फ श्रवण करते रहने से होगी नहीं बात. हर जो बात तुमने सुनी और तुम्हारे जीवन के लिए उपयोगी लगी, अपने जीवन में उसका संबंध समझते हुए निधिध्यास पर, कमिटमेंट टू प्रैक्टिस पर ले आना, ये स्टूडेंट का फॉर्मूला है. फिर दूसरा अनुशासन, उत्साह और प्रेम जगाने का अभ्यास करते रहेंगे हम. किसी को प्रेम करें ये बात नहीं है, अपनी चेतना में प्रेम जगा रहे. मैं कहता हूँ उत्साह तुम्हारे हर कार्य को और उत्कट बनाता है, इंटेंस बनाता है, एंजॉयबल बनाता है. प्रेम तुम्हें अंदर से मखमली मृदु करता है, मधुर बना देता है. उसका जो कॉम्बिनेशन है उत्साह और प्रेम का, वो तुम्हारे जीवन के हर कार्य को ब्यूटीफाई कर सकता है, इंटेंसिफाई कर सकता है, ज़्यादा जिम्मेदार बना सकता है, ज़्यादा सेंसिटिव कर सकता है तुम्हें. इन एवरी एक्टिविटी ऑफ योर लाइफ, इफ़ यू आर एबल टू इन्वोक दैट ब्यूटीफुल एंथुजियाज्म एंड लव, द कॉन्कॉक्शन ऑफ ब्यूटी आई कॉल इट, किसी भी कार्य में जो भी किरदार निभा रहे हो उसके साथ साथ अपने जीवन का ब्यूटिफिकेशन चलता रहेगा. और थोड़े ही समय में आप गौर से देखना, बार बार अगर उत्साह प्रेम जगता रहेगा तुम्हारी चेतना में, थोड़े ही समय में तुम्हारी चेतना को उसकी आदत पड़ेगी, ऑटो पायलट टेक ओवर कर लेगा, अपने आप ही वो जगता रहेगा और एफर्टलेस होता जाएगा। और वहीं हमें पहुंचना है, वो जीवन का अंग बन जाए, तब तक थोड़े समय के लिए कमिटेड स्किलफुल एफर्ट्स की ज़रूरत पड़ती है। अच्छा, फिर तीसरा अनुशासन, जैसे सेकंड अनुशासन इज अबाउट इन्वोकिंग ब्यूटिफुल फ्लेवर्स, थर्ड अनुशासन इज अबाउट ड्रॉपिंग अननेसेसरी फ्लेवर्स। आप जब जो भाव त्यागना चाहो वो त्याग सकते हो। वो क्षमता, वो एबिलिटी बनाने वाले ने हर एक की चेतना में रखी है। उस फैंटास्टिक एबिलिटी का इस्तेमाल करते हुए हार्मफुल टेंडेंसीज़ को, नुकसानदेह विचारों को, भावनाओं को एट विल, ऑन डिमांड, जब आप चाहो त्यागने का एक स्किल आ जाए, एक कला आ जाए, एक अभ्यास हो जाए। उसके लिए ये अनुशासन ऑब्जर्व, फिल्टर एंड सरेंडर। फिर चौथा अनुशासन, जैसे हम मन को शुद्धि के लिए, मन की प्रसन्नता, पवित्रता को बनाए रखने के लिए ऑब्जर्व, फिल्टर, सरेंडर का यूज़ करेंगे, वैसे ही फिर से एक बार कचरा इकट्ठा ना कर लें, उसके लिए हम अननेसेसरी स्क्रीन टाइम से बचे रहेंगे। ये चौथा अनुशासन किया। फिर पांचवा अनुशासन, हमने ये निश्चय किया कि किसी भी कीमत पर हम अपना साधना का अभ्यास छोड़ेंगे नहीं। साधना दो तरह से ब्यूटीफाई करती है तुम्हें। एक तरफ अपने मन की शुद्धि करती जाएगी, खाली करती जाती है चेतना को, और दूसरी तरफ चेतना में शक्ति का संचार जगाती है। ऐसी अद्भुत गुरुदेव की आशीर्वाद से मिली हुई साधना हम किसी भी कीमत पर छोड़ेंगे नहीं। ये हमारा निश्चय है, ये पांचवा अनुशासन। अच्छा, कभी कभी हम साधना को जैसे सिर्फ वो योगासन कर लिया या प्राणायाम कर लिया या मेडिटेशन कर लिया, सुदर्शन क्रिया कर ली, हम उसको फिज़िकल प्रैक्टिस मानते हैं। मैं कहता हूँ साधना ये एक ऐसा मौका है, साधना ये एक ऐसा फैंटास्टिक अपॉर्चुनिटी है गुरुदेव के आशीर्वाद के साथ स्वयं को जोड़ लेने का। That time of half an hour, 45 minutes is actually for you to connect with His divine consciousness. साधना वो करती है, सिर्फ प्राणायाम नहीं है। अपना मार्ग ये ऐसा नहीं है कि भाई कहीं जाके रेकी सीखी, कहीं जाके प्राणिक हीलिंग सीखा, कहीं और किसी और मार्ग पे जाके अनुलोम विलोम प्राणायाम सीख लिया तो यहाँ आके सुदर्शन क्रिया सीखी है। हमारा मार्ग हठयोग का मार्ग नहीं है माय डियर्स, एक और टेक्निक सीखने का मार्ग नहीं है। हमारा तो वे ऑफ ग्रेस है, हमारा तो कृपा के साथ कनेक्ट करने का मार्ग है भाई। और उसके लिए एक मौका मिलता है तुम्हें साधना के दौरान, इस दुनिया से मन को छुड़ाकर उस गुरु तत्व के साथ कनेक्ट करते हुए उनका आवाहन करके जीवन की शुरुआत करना हर रोज़, ये साधना से मिला हुआ आशीर्वाद है। तो उसका अनुशासन, ये पांचवा अनुशासन किया हमने। फिर छठा अनुशासन मैं कहता हूँ, जितना गहराई से तुम जीवन को समझते जाओगे, कलेक्टिव कॉन्शियसनेस को समझते जाओगे, इंडिविजुअल कॉन्शियसनेस के खेल को समझते जाओगे, उतना तुम्हें रियलाइज़ होता जाएगा कि तुम अपनी सृष्टि खुद ही बना रहे हो और खुद ही उसका अनुभव भी कर रहे हो। और उसके लिए मैं कहता हूँ स्व अध्याय, स्वाध्याय का आज थोड़ा सा उसका वर्णन शुरू करेंगे। इस जीवन के खेल में अपने रोल को गहराई से समझ लेने की चेष्टा, ये स्व अध्याय है। स्व अध्याय है। हम दुनिया को समझते हैं, बिजनेस को समझते हैं, घर गृहस्थी जानते हैं, कितने सारे विषयों को समझने की चेष्टा करते रहते हैं। मैं कहता हूँ वो सब के सब पर अध्याय हैं। अपने आप को गहराई से जान लेना और उसको तुम जिन भावों के साथ जीना चाहो उन भावों के साथ जी लेना, मैं कहता हूँ वो स्वाध्याय है। और धर्म के अंदर स्व अध्याय बहुत बड़ा रोल निभाता है माय डियर्स। आज थोड़ा सा उसकी शुरुआत करेंगे। हमने स्व अध्याय का निश्चय किया, ये छठा अनुशासन है। और फिर सातवां अनुशासन, हर रोज किसी न किसी तरह हमारे द्वारा किसी के कल्याण का एक छोटा सा प्रयत्न होता रहे। उसमें एक बहुत सुंदर बात होती है। आप ये देखना, ज़्यादातर लोगों का आजकल के समाज में देखो तो एक आदत क्या बनी, जो भी करेंगे वो या तो अपने लिए या अपनों के लिए, दैट्स इट। जिनको अपना मानते हैं वैसे 4-5 लोग, और स्वयं के जीवन के लिए बस उसी दायरे में जीवन सीमित हो गया। सेवा के माध्यम से तुम्हें ये मौका मिलता है कि तुम किसी अनजान व्यक्ति के लिए उपयोगी होने के लिए, उनके जीवन के कल्याण की भी जिम्मेदारी लेने के लिए तत्पर हो जाते हो। अच्छा, उसका सेवा का खेल देखो कैसा है। जितनी बड़ी जिम्मेदारियां तुम लेते गए, उतना तुम्हारी ताकतों को भी एक्सप्लोर करने का मौका मिला, तुम्हारी कमियों को भी, त्रुटियों को भी, तुम्हारी शॉर्टकमिंग्स को भी एक्सपोज होने का मौका मिला। अच्छा, उसका खेल देखिए कैसा है। जितनी ताकतें एक्सपोज हुई हैं, तुम्हारी स्ट्रेंथ्स, तुम्हारी प्लस पॉइंट्स जितने निखरे, वो हमेशा बढ़े। और जितने तुम्हारे नेगेटिव पॉइंट्स एक्सपोज हुए, कमियां एक्सपोज हुई, छोटापन उभर के बाहर आने की का मौका आया, वो हमेशा टूटा ही है। ये सेवा का, मैं कहता हूँ, बेस है। इसलिए सेवा जरूरी। हायर सेवा के साथ में स्ट्रेंथ्स को एक्सपोज करो और बढ़ाओ, हायर सेवा के साथ में कमियों को एक्सपोज करो और टूटने दो। ये संकल्प हमने किया 7वें अनुशासन के माध्यम से। आज हम शुरुआत कर रहे हैं अब जीवन को गहराई से समझ लेते हैं।
Today we start with a deeper understanding of life. Let's understand life in depth. And for that, let's invoke love and enthusiasm, and let's put on the student cap. In a single sutra, our rishis have so openly expressed such a deep truth of life.
कह रहे हैं, यत पिंडे तत ब्रह्मांडे।
They are saying the entire Brahman universe is made up of the same consciousness that each individual soul is made up of. Since thousands of years, the rishis explored this highest truth from a spiritual perspective and documented it in various scriptures.
ऋषियों ने एक्सप्लोर किया है और उसको अलग-अलग ग्रंथों में लिख के रखा हुआ है।
Some said Aham Brahmasmi, I am the Brahman. Someone else said Satchidananda Rupoham, Shivoham Shivoham, I am Sat Chit Anand, I am Shiva, I am that one. This narration of the highest truth given by our sages is found in almost all our scriptures, from the Bhagavad Gita to Srimad Bhagavatam to Patanjali Yoga Sutras to Ashtavakra Gita. The description of this highest truth in different manners can be found in every ancient text. And in recent times, some 40-50 years ago, scientists tried to explore the Brahman from a scientific perspective And they also discovered exactly the same truth. Sometimes it seems that science and spirituality are different from each other or have different directions. But if you observe carefully, it is seen that the methods are different, but both have been exploring the same consciousness. Science is trying to understand life, the world, the consciousness, the five elements through different instruments and tools.
दुनिया को, चेतना को, 5 तत्वों को समझने की चेष्टा कर रहा है.
And for the same exploration, spiritual scientists, called the Rishis, have used their intellect, their meditation, their understanding of life, and their sensing ability in order to discover the same truth. So I do not consider science and spirituality as different. Such is the game. If I look at it from the perspective of science, the scientists, what did they do? They used telescopes to understand the universe, the Brahman. Wherever the vision of the telescopes reached, they saw giant galaxies. Till now, they have seen 500 galaxies. Their vision could not reach beyond that. So no one actually knows how many galaxies actually exist in this universe. From a scientific perspective, this is how it is. Now, from the spiritual perspective, this universe has always been called the Ananta Brahman, the infinite Brahman, the endless universe, because its limits have not been found yet. The end limits have not been found yet. Within each galaxy, millions of stars were seen. And one amongst the 500 billion galaxies is the Milky Way galaxy, within which there are more than 250 billion stars. One such star is our Sun. And there are 9 planets revolving around the Sun. The Earth is the 3rd planet from the Sun. And on Earth, there are 7 continents. 70% of Earth's surface is covered with water. And on that surface, there are 7 continents. The largest of them is Asia. Within it is the country of India. Within it, your state. In that, your city, which contains your local area, within which is your house. And that is where you are seated right now. Starting from your home to your state, to your country, to the continent that you are in, to the planet Earth, to the solar system, to the Milky Way galaxy. To the infinite Brahman, there is a fantastic similarity in the whole paraphernalia of this existence. This entire universe is made up of 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air and space. And from these 5 elements, the 4 elements of earth, water, air and fire are made up of atoms. Atoms are made up of neutrons, protons and electrons. Within the central nucleus of the atom, there are protons and neutrons, while electrons are revolving around it. Between the central nucleus and the revolving electrons, there is a huge amount of empty space inside each atom. There is also a lot of empty space between 2 atoms. And the whole universe is made up of this empty space. Where the atoms have come closest, it has become the earth element. The water element has less condensation than the earth element. There is even lesser condensation of atoms in the air element, and the atoms are least condensed in the fire element. Such is the design of the entire existence. And there is a lot of emptiness in these four elements of earth, water, air and fire. This emptiness is called the space element. In order to have deeper understanding, when nuclear scientists and quantum physicists observed parts of these five elements after magnifying them under powerful microscopes, they were amazed.
अलग-अलग टुकड़ों को बड़े-बड़े माइक्रोस्कोप्स के अंदर मैग्नीफाई करके देखा तो रियली अमेजिंग अनुभव हुआ है उन्हें. पृथ्वी, जल,
These four elements, earth, water, air and fire, are made up of atoms.
से बने हैं.
Where atoms are most condensed, the closest to each other is the earth element.
सबसे नजदीक आ गए हैं वो पृथ्वी तत्व बना है.
Less condensed than that is in the water element. Even less condensation is there in the air element, and the fire element has the least condensation of atoms. Atoms consisting of neutrons, protons and electrons make up these four elements of earth, water, air and fire. In the atoms, within these four elements, there is a lot of empty space between the nucleus and the revolving electrons, which is called the space element. And when the proportion of this emptiness was measured, it was found that 99.999999999% of matter is empty space. After 99 point, there are 9 nines.
99.999999999% empty space है. And
and the physical matter is only 0.000000001%. That is, 1 follows the 8 zeros after the decimal point. The actual proportion of physical matter is only that much. The rest of the universe is just empty, empty and empty. And the scientists, when they tried to understand this emptiness, as they saw a similar phenomenon occurring at the micro and the macro levels, at the atomic level as well, and at the level of the solar systems also.
यही चीज हो रही है कि जैसे एटम में न्यूक्लियस
Just like there is a lot of empty space between the nucleus and the revolving electrons in an atom, yet the electrons remain attached to the nucleus due to some invisible force. The same phenomenon is observed with the 9 planets revolving around the sun also. The same is seen for Earth and the Moon revolving around it. In spite of having such vast emptiness between itself and the planet, the Moon continues to revolve around the Earth and does not float away in the space. All the 9 planets keep revolving around the Sun. They do not float away from the solar system. To explain this phenomenon, to understand what this energy is, the scientists tapped into the empty space between the nucleus and the rotating electrons and found out that this apparently empty space is not empty at all. There is pure energy in that empty space, And there is pure energy in the empty space inside the atom also.
अंदर भी खाली जगह में प्योर एनर्जी, 2 4 5 जो भी एटम्स बने
The
हैं,
atoms make up the 4 elements of earth, fire, water and air. Even inside every atom and between
2 एटम्स के बीच में भी
2 atoms, there is tremendous amount of empty space, and this empty space is filled with energy. You must have heard of the equation E is equal to mc square, in which E is energy. And this energy fills up the entire universe.
ब्रह्मांड में व्याप्त है.
Our rishis have understood and known this energy thousands of years ago without using any telescopes or microscopes, and have documented it in our spiritual books.
समझा हुआ है, जाना हुआ है, डॉक्यूमेंट करके रखा हुआ है स्पिरिचुअल बुक्स में.
Our rishis called this energy consciousness,
कहते हैं,
chetna.
कहते हैं. Scientifically,
It has been proven scientifically that 5 elements are made up of energy only. They are different forms of the same energy. And this fact has been recorded in a conversation that took place between Rishi Vashishta and Lord Sri Ram 15,000 years ago, while giving the highest wisdom to him. Rishi said, the whole universe is made up of the same consciousness, and these 5 elements are different manifestations of that same consciousness. The grossest is the earth element, and the most subtle manifestation is the space element. The whole universe is a field of energy. There is only one field of consciousness. The understanding given by modern science stops here, as it has not been able to go beyond this point. But our rishis have understood the same consciousness, the same energy in a deeper manner, and they have also explored what this consciousness is made up of. Modern science says the whole universe is made up of 5 elements, and the 5 elements are made up of energy. Our rishis, having a deeper understanding, declare that the Brahman is made up of consciousness, and earth, water, air, fire and space are its different forms. And earth, water, air or fire, anything made up of these 4 elements that exist in the whole universe is a soul. There is no such thing as a non-soul, as a non-living. This paper napkin is a soul, and this cloth is also a soul. Even this mic is a soul. A flying insect is also a soul. A plant is also a soul. A bird is also a soul. Animals are also souls, and humans are also souls. Whatever is there in this entire universe are souls and souls only. But every soul has its own stage of evolution. The evolutionary stage of every soul is different. Our rishis have called those stages as yonis. You must have heard of this word yoni. What is a yoni? It is a stage of evolution. After understanding these yonis in depth, they segregated it into 2 different categories. The non-moving yonis and the moving yonis. If a soul is a soul of a non-moving yoni, then it will not be able to move from one place to another at will. It is incapable of movement, and hence it is a non-moving soul. For example, in the stages of evolution, the most initial stage of evolution is called the stone stage, stone yoni. It is the world of stones, in which there are souls ranging from sand particles to mountains to metals to even soil.
मेटल्स से लेके मिट्टी तक
These all are souls in the stone
शिला योनि के
stage.
जीव हैं। फिर
Evolving
evolve होते
further,
होते
these souls
जीवों
get
को
the plant
वृक्ष
yoni,
योनि प्राप्त
the plant kingdom. Sometimes a
योनि भी
plant
आप गौर से
emerges out
देखना
of a
कई बार
concrete or a
concrete में
plant
से
emerges
पौधा
from the
निकलता है।
soil. You can
या
observe a soul of stone
मिट्टी में
yoni
से
evolving into the
पौधे
plant
निकलते
yoni.
हैं। शीला योनि में से वृक्ष योनि में आ रहा है जीव। अच्छा,
The plant yoni consists of souls ranging from small plants to large trees.
चिनार का पेड़
The chinar tree stands at the same place for 12,000 years.
जगह पर खड़ा रहता है। शीला योनि का जीव है।
This tree also belongs to the plant
अच्छा,
kingdom.
लेकिन
The
शीला
soul
योनि
in
और
the
वृक्ष
stone
योनि,
stage and the
वृक्ष योनि
plant
का जीव
kingdom
है, वो
do
चिना-
not have the
पेड़
freedom
यानी
to move at will,
एक ही
and
जगह
hence
पर।
they have
ये
been
ऐसी
classified
योनियां
as
ऐसी हैं,
non-moving
शीला योनि और वृक्ष
yonis.
योनि, जिनको अपनी इच्छा से मूवमेंट
After that, a soul gets a moving yoni. After these, in which there is freedom of movement at will.
होती है किसी जीव को, तो वो कहते हैं कीटक
The
योनि
moving
से चर योनि
yonis
की
begin
शुरुआत
with the insect yoni.
कोई
Souls
छोटा
of
मोटा कीड़ा
insect
हो,
yoni range from small
उससे
worms
लेके
to
बड़े-बड़े
large
cockroaches
cockroaches.
तक का।
After
कीटक
this
योनि के
stage,
जीव।
parallel to
उसके
that,
बाद
there are aquatic
parallelly
yonis which
पानी
live
में
in
रहने
water,
वाले
such as the
जीवों
fish
को,
or even the
जैसे
amphibian creatures.
एम्फीबियन सोल्स कहते हैं, उनमें जैसे मत्स्य योनि है या इस तरह की योनियां अवेलेबल।
And the species living on the land are called land-based terrestrial yonis. The land-based terrestrial yonis also include birds, from small hummingbirds to large ostriches.
पक्षी योनि है।
After this, there is the animal yoni, which includes mammals.
जानवर योनि या पशु योनि या
The animal yoni includes animals ranging from the small mouse to the giant elephant.
ये योनियां हैं।
And after crossing all these yonis, the soul gets a human yoni. And even on attaining the human yoni, there are different yonis that result from further evolution.
उसके बारे में हम कभी बाद में बात करेंगे।
After the human yoni, three parallel tracks of possibilities open up in front of the soul. These are called Yaksha yoni, Gandharva yoni, and Kinnar yoni. Souls in the human yoni who take higher responsibilities and become representatives of an area evolve into the Yaksh yoni. A soul evolves from the Yaksh yoni from human yoni by taking higher responsibilities. For example, the corporator of an area or a mayor or an MLA or an MP. These souls of Yaksh yoni are not ordinary people. While being in a human body, if they have attained the Yaksh yoni, then they naturally feel like taking higher responsibilities. Then there are souls of the Gandharva yoni who are interested in artistic or creative pursuits like dancing, acting, singing. Through different types of arts, they enrich and beautify themselves, and they belong to the Gandharva yoni. And after that, there is the third parallel yoni called the Kinnar yoni. Kinnar yoni means who are eager for seva. I will give an example here. As an Art of Living teacher, I have seen it happen really thousands of times. That suppose Gurudev has asked us to go to some place and teach courses. In that country, we would find people
आज भी वही प्रोसेस चल रहा है कि
who would make arrangements for our accommodation, transport, meals, wherever we go. It is still going on like this. They will also drive us around. They naturally feel like engaging in service. Now beyond Yaksh, Gandharva, Kinnar are the yonis of Devi Devtas. This is Kinnar yoni. This Devi Devta yoni includes people who live happy, celebratory and joyous lives. They are people for whom life is a celebration. Kinnar yoni souls are those who take care of these Devi Devta yonis. They attend to the needs of the people in the Devi Devta yoni. You would have observed wherever a teacher goes to teach a course, they find some or the other volunteer to work for them. And these are not ordinary people. You cannot expect this from someone who is not a soul of Kinnar yoni. Then he or she will not be able to do that much. They won't even have the desire for seva. This is the game of Kinnar yoni. So after the human yoni, there are three parallel lines of Yaksha, Gandharva and Kinnar. And on further evolution, the Devi Devta yoni becomes available. Evolving further, the yoni of the Siddhas is attained. The souls of Siddha yoni are interested in living life by awakening, nurturing and expressing the beautiful abilities and powers which are there in each and every soul. Above the yonis of the Siddhas is the Rishi yoni. You can visualize this process as a pyramid, and as you move up, there are fewer and fewer souls up there. There are literally uncountable souls in the plant yoni. Lesser than that, you will see lesser amount of souls in the insect yoni. There are even fewer birds than insects. There are even fewer animals than the birds. And there are only 7.5 to 8 billion people who are in the human kingdom. Beyond the human yoni, even fewer souls of the Yaksh, Gandharva and Kinnar yoni are there. The souls of Devi Devta yoni are even fewer. In this manner, as you climb up in the pyramid, the number of souls at each level decreases. So human yoni followed by Yaksha, Gandharva, Kinnars and then Devi Devtas, followed by Siddhas, followed by Rishis, and after that there is only one soul in the topmost yoni, which is called Paramatma yoni. There is only one soul there. It is a monopoly. And when that soul takes a human body and descends to our realm, it is called an avatar, a divine incarnation, a divine incarnation. He comes down as an avatar. He descends by taking the human form. He is coming down and not going up. When he comes down as an avatar, he is happily accepting bondage of the human body. He comes with a specific purpose. And that's why he is called Avatar, the divine descending down when the Paramatma yoni soul takes a human body for the upliftment of the whole world. What I am saying is, this process of human yoni to higher yonis and beyond, this process of evolution of a soul goes on from the stone yoni, insect yoni, plant yoni, bird yoni, animal yoni, human yoni to the higher yonis and beyond. Every soul has its own state of evolution and is progressing according to it.
अच्छा, यहाँ पर
people in human yoni
मनुष्य
here who are listening to me, look at each of their lives also. They also must have started perhaps from the tree yoni or the stone yoni.
अच्छा,
You must have heard this.
सीता मैया,
Sita Maya, Sita ji was the daughter of Mother Earth, and Draupadi was born from fire.
अग्नि से जन्मी थी. अग्नि तत्व का
It means that a soul which
शरीर लेके आया.
came to the human body from the fire element. This is, of course, a matter of the subtle realm. Those who do not understand these mysteries from the correct perspective would assume these beautiful mysteries to be merely mythological stories. They take it as stories. I am saying every soul sitting here has traveled for millions of lifetimes, changing different bodies.
लाखों जन्मों वाली यात्रा करते करते आज इन शरीरों के साथ यहाँ बैठे.
Right now they are sitting here with this body.
ये process
This process would have inevitably happened.
अगर मनुष्य
If a
के
soul
शरीर
got a
मिले
human
हैं,
body, then
तो
it
ये
would have
सभी की
crossed
सभी
these
योनियां
yonis for
cross
sure.
ही होंगी. There is no escape.
There is no escape.
There are no shortcuts.
There are no
here.
shortcuts here.
अच्छा, साइंटिफिकली अगर इसी बात
Looking
को
at
देखा
it from a scientific perspective,
तो human
the
genome
scientists
का study
who
करने
study the
वाले,
human
genetic
genome
mapping
and
का
genetic mapping
अध्ययन करने वाले जो
depict this
scientists
fact
हैं,
so beautifully.
वो इसी बात को इतना ब्यूटीफुली डिपिक्ट कर रहे हैं. वो क्या कहते हैं?
What are
Human
they
genome
saying?
के
They
अंदर
say traces of
अस्तित्व में
all the
जितने भी
species in
जातियां,
existence
प्रजातियां
have
हैं,
been seen in
उन
the human
सभी के
genome.
traces नजर आए हैं. अच्छा, मैं मेलबर्न में
I was once teaching a course in Australia and was sharing this wisdom there. There was a participant with us named Robert. He stood up and enthusiastically he said,
उठ के खड़े हुए मुझे वो कहते हैं,
ऋषि
ऋषि
जी,
जी, आप ये जो डिस्क्राइब कर रहे हो,
I am the head of the
मैं
Department of
Melbourne
Genetic
University
Engineering
का
here at
Genetic
Melbourne University.
Engineering Department
What
का
you are
head of the
describing, when I
ये
have to
बात मुझे
explain
लोगों
this
को जब
matter to
समझानी
people,
होती है, मैं
I am
समझा ही
unable
नहीं
to do
पाता.
so.
और
And
आप
how
कितना
easily
easily
are you
express
expressing
कर
it?
रहे हो.
It was
वो
really
क्या बोल रहे थे
exciting to
पता है?
hear what a
और एक
scientist and a head of
scientist
the
की
department said that
genetic
time.
engineering के head of the department की जब बात सुन रहे हैं हम, it is really exciting. वो
What
क्या
he
कह
was
रहे थे
saying is,
कि जैसे
in the
देखने के
process of
process
seeing,
में
the physical instrument is the eyes,
आंखों से हम देखते हैं लेकिन physical instrument आंख है.
but it
देखने
is the
वाला मन है.
mind which sees.
सुनने के
In the
process
process
में
of
physical
listening,
instrument
the
कान से
physical
है.
instrument
लेकिन
is the
सुनता है
ear,
मन.
but it is the mind which
Suppose आप
listens.
यहाँ बैठे हो,
Suppose, as you are
मेरे
sitting
कान-
here,
मेरे शब्द
my
तो आपके
words are
कानों में
falling
पड़
on
ही
your
रहे हैं,
ears,
लेकिन आपका
but if
मन
your
अगर
mind
किसी
is
और
in some
विचार
other
में हो,
thought,
तो
then the
सुनने
process
का
of
process
listening is
complete
not
नहीं होता.
completed,
क्योंकि सुनने वाला
because the
मन
mind
कुछ
which
और
listens
कार्य
is doing
कर
some
रहा है.
other activity. So he was
वो ये
saying,
कह रहे हैं,
like in the process
सुनने
of
के
seeing the
process
physical
में
instrument
आँखों
is
का-
the
कानों
eye,
का
in the
instrument
process
use
of
होता
listening
है,
the physical
देखने के
instrument
process
is the
में
ear.
आँखों का instrument use
Similarly,
होता है,
in the
physical
process
instrument
of
आँख का
karma,
कान है. वैसे ही कर्मों
the
के
instrument
process
that
में,
physically
कर्म
holds the
को
karmas
physically hold
are the
करने वाला
genes.
instrument है genes. ये खुद कह रहे हैं वो.
He
और
said
यही
that.
बात
So, when there was a
जब
scientific
सुदर्शन
study
क्रिया का
on the effects of Sudarshan Kriya,
scientific study
it
हुआ,
was understood
उससे
that genetic
होने
mapping also
वाले-
changes,
मिलने
which
वाले
means
results का, तो यही
karmas
समझ
are
में आया,
changing.
जेनेटिक मैपिंग बदल जाता है. माने क्या? कर्म बदल रहे हैं.
Just like
जिन mappings
everyone's
को लेके
thumbprint is different,
कोई व्यक्ति
everyone's
पैदा हुआ,
genetic genome is different,
जैसे हर एक का
the soul
thumbprint
came
अलग
into
है,
the
वैसे
body
हर एक
with
का
that
genetic
particular structure of that
genome
karma.
एकदम ही अलग अलग। उस कर्म का स्ट्रक्चर लेकर इस शरीर में आया,
But as soon
लेकिन
as they
वो
experience
जैसे
Sudarshan
सुदर्शन
Kriya
क्रिया
or
या
meditation,
करते हैं,
the
पूरा
complete
का पूरा
genetic
genetic
mapping
mapping
also
बदल जाता है।
changed.
वैसे ही
That's how karma changes.
कर्म बदलते हैं। और दिस इज व्हाट ही वाज सेइंग, उसी
Just
तरह
like the physical instruments are eyes or
physical
ears in
instrument
the
है
process
आँखों का,
of seeing or
physical
listening,
instrument है कानों का,
the
देखने या
physical
सुनने के
instrument
process
of
में,
karma
कर्म
is the
कर्मफल का
genome.
physical instrument
This
है
is what he
genome।
was saying from a scientific approach.
अच्छा, इस
Let's translate this
Macro
macro
समझ
understanding into the life of each and every soul,
एक एक जीव के जीवन पर अगर हम ले आए, मैं कहता हूँ इस
going
मैक्रो से
from
माइक्रो पर आओ,
macrocosm to microcosm,
ब्रह्मांड
from macro
से
to micro.
पिंड पर आओ,
As per Yat Pinde Tat Brahmande, let's go from universe to the individual soul. If the Brahman universe is the ocean of consciousness, then these souls are the waves arising in that ocean, made up of the same water.
उठी हुई लहरें हैं, इस उसी पानी से बनी हुई। गुरुदेव ने वो जो बर्थडे का सॉन्ग दिया है हमें,
The birthday song in Hindi given by Gurudev
उठी तेरे नाम की,
says this: a wave of your name is coming up in the ocean, wishing you the joy of self-realization. You are meant to merge with the infinity. You are a beautiful drop of that consciousness. The biggest truth of life is, whatever is in the macrocosm, so is it in the microcosm. Modern science understands that the whole universe is made up of consciousness. Earth, water, air, fire are different forms of the same consciousness. And the whole universe, Brahman, is empty, filled with the space element. This is the exploration of modern science so far. Our rishis, spiritual scientists, went much deeper in this exploration. They have understood and classified the different yonis in the entire universe and have also intricately understood the consciousness that makes up those souls. They said that this consciousness of the Brahman, in which every soul is evolving, has three attributes. It has three characteristics: Sat, Chit, and Anand. It has three gunas, qualities, and three doshas, distortions. The three gunas are tamas, rajas, and sattva. Vat, Pit, and Kaph are the three doshas. And whatever is in the Brahman, universal consciousness, so is it in the soul, individual consciousness. Expressing it in a simplified manner, the individual consciousness is the soul and the collective consciousness is the divine.
परम आत्मा, जीवात्मा, परमात्मा।
Both the soul and the divine are made up of Sat, Chit, and Anand. Are you listening to me? The question arises that if every soul is made up of Sat, Chit, and Anand, then why does a soul appear to be different from each other? So I'll explain this in this way. Just like every drop of water anywhere in the whole world, whether it be tap water, bottled water, rain water, or ocean water, it has the same basic structure of H2O. Two atoms of hydrogen, one atom of oxygen, combine to form a molecule of water. This is the basic structure of every drop of water. But each drop would have gone through different experiences collecting carbonates, bicarbonate, calcium, magnesium, total dissolved solids, hardness in varying proportions, and hence the chemical composition of each and every drop will be different.
केमिकल कॉम्पोजिशन अलग अलग होगा.
Exactly like that, all souls in existence have their basic nature as Sat, Chit and Anand. But each soul has gone through so many different experiences, and as a result of the effect of those experiences, which can be called impressions, karma, influence of the past, each soul appears to be very different.
Influence of the past कहते हैं.
As a result, some flavor developed more in one soul, while a different flavor developed in some other soul. In someone's consciousness, you see the flavor of valor has developed, while the flavor of love blossom in someone else's consciousness. Some have developed compassion, while others do not have that flavor. So each soul has different flavors, but every soul's basic nature is of Sat, Chit and Anand only. If you observe each soul's life, I am saying it underwent the journey of life through millions of lifetimes while changing different bodies. When it got a body, it was called birth, and when it dropped the body, it was called death. And after undergoing this journey of millions of lifetimes, you are here today. And this journey continues even after this body is dropped. I call it eternal journey. Now look at the life of each and every soul. As life goes on, is everybody listening? As life goes on, moment to moment to moment, every moment there are two sections of life for every soul. The outer world made up of people, things and situations, and the inner world is made up of 7 sections: body, breath, mind, intellect, memory and ego. And we are souls experiencing life through all these. I am not giving too much importance to body and breath right now, because sometimes you have the body, sometimes you don't have the body. This has happened so many times, thousands, millions of times. As the breath stops, the body is dropped. But the mind, intellect, memory and ego, which are the 4 modes of your individual consciousness, are going to move ahead in the same state. You spend some time without a body. Then as and when you get a body, the journey continues. Having gone through all this, you are here now. The outer world has people, things and situations, while the inner world has mind, intellect, memory and ego. Let us understand this subject in depth. The physical world is governed by its own laws of functioning, such as Newton's law or Archimedes' principle, laws of thermodynamics, laws of electromagnetism. So, the physical world will function only as per these laws. It is not random and haphazard, isn't it? For example, the fan will not emit light. It's not possible. Are you listening? The physical world has its own specific laws of working. These laws are different for the earth element, different for water element, different for air element, and different for fire element. As the earth element is most condensed, gravity has the most effect on it. But the water element is less affected by gravity. Since its matter has less mass, less condensation of atoms as compared to the earth element. And hence when the wind blows, there are ripples in water as well. air element is even less affected by gravity. So you see that air is present for many kilometers above the Earth's surface.
वायु है, ग्रेविटी का असर उतना कम है.
Within the air element also, some gases are more affected by gravity because of their higher density, while some gases are less affected by gravity as their density is lower. As you move to a higher altitude, the oxygen level decreases, but other gases are still there. Are you listening? This is the effect of gravity on the air element. If you observe the fire element, there is no effect of gravity on it. It is rather contrary. If you light a matchstick and turn it upside down, the fire will still go up. It goes against gravity. The earth receives fire element from the sun in a form of rays of light. Some of these solar rays get reflected from earth towards the moon surface. You must have seen this. On the first or the second or the third day after the new moon, you might have observed that the portion of the lunar surface receiving direct sunlight is bright, whereas there is a faintly visible portion of the lunar surface which does not receive direct sunlight. Have you noticed that? It is a duller shade of white and appears a little hazy. What is happening there is that solar rays reflected from the Earth's surface which fell on the lunar surface are getting reflected back to the Earth, and hence we are able to see that portion of the moon as well. Are you listening to me, my dears? My point is that a ray of the sun which belongs to the fire element is not affected by gravity. Gravity has the least effect on the fire element. This is my point. Such is the existence. The Brahman having different laws for different elements in the physical universe. In the same way, there are specific laws or principles for the functioning of our consciousness, of our mind, intellect, memory and ego. There are specific principles. The mind works as per those specific laws. For example, take the principle of expectation reduces joy. Whether you like it or not, as soon as you get into the mood of seeking or expecting, you start reducing your happiness on your own. If the same mind gets in the mood of giving or contributing, it always remains very happy. This is the principle. You do not have a choice. If your life is in line with this principle, then you will get happiness. If you act against the principle, it will reduce happiness. It is a very technical process. We make it an emotional issue. You would say you are not meeting my expectations. I am saying that by expecting itself, you are harming your own life. Another fantastic law of your consciousness, of your personal consciousness is whatever you resist will persist. Whatever you try to repel, whatever you are resisting, you say this should not happen. Why is this happening? As soon as there is a resistance in the mind, your intellect, your memory and your ego get stuck there. And they will continue to experience it again and again. But if you drop the resistance and accept it, that unpleasantness will just come and go away. Another fantastic law of the same inner world of mind, intellect, memory and ego is Are you all listening? Responsibility increases power. As soon as your mind gets into the mood of taking responsibility, your inner power starts increasing. It kindles the power within. Your inner world of mind, intellect, memory and ego already starts working to fulfill the responsibility. Enthusiasm increases, power gets increased, the intellect starts working, and the doors of opportunity starts opening up. Such is the consciousness of every person. So just as there are laws for the outer world, there are laws for the inner world also. We won't go into too many details, but I recommend that you try to understand the 3 functions of mind, 5 functions of intellect, the different levels of memory, and some flavors of the ego. We will try to understand the 3 functions of mind, 5 functions of intellect, different levels of memory, and some flavors of ego.
समझने की चेष्टा करेंगे.